From Mark Cuban's latest message for Dogecoin holders to the latest Doge whale activity, there is a lot to talk about in this video, so let's see what exactly is happening out there. So first of all, we are now seeing a little bit of release and pressure on the crypto market because all cryptos are showing a slight boost in their values. Meanwhile, Bitcoin's price is now moving around 40K on the price chart, while Ethereum, Dogecoin, and others are also showing signs of a slight momentum. Meanwhile, we are now seeing that the two-day meeting of the Federal Reserve will finish on Thursday. At the end of the meeting, the central bank is anticipated to announce a rate hike. The Fed's statement is expected to drive global markets in the short and long term amid the backdrop of a festering Russia-Ukraine war. This is an interesting situation because deflationary cryptos like Bitcoin have long been hailed as a remedy for inflation. And seeing this, Santiment said that given the odd conditions of crypto being so tightly linked to stocks right now, this inflation concern might wind up being a textbook example of FUD after everything is said and done. And as mentioned before, we just saw that ahead of the possible rate hike, Bitcoin, Ethereum, and Dogecoin saw a sudden spike. So it means that instead of buying the FUD, some investors are bullish on cryptos. And now, let's come to the big update for Dogecoin. So Mark Cuban, the billionaire investor and owner of the Dallas Mavericks, has remained overly optimistic on Dogecoin despite the crypto's continued price consolidation. So what happened is that after the NBA game between the Mavericks and the Celtics on Sunday, March 13, Cuban was seen favoring Dogecoin. In a recent video, Cuban reaffirmed his support for Dogecoin. According to the video, someone in the audience asked the Dallas Mavericks owner if he had invested in sheep. Someone asked from the crowd, "Are you on Shiba?" So what happened is that Cuban said that Dogecoin is where it is at, referring to the Dallas Mavericks, and shook his head in disapproval. So we know that last year, Cuban pushed his enthusiasm for Dogecoin to a new level by accepting Doge as a payment mechanism for Dallas Mavericks game tickets and merchandise. The American basketball team was able to accept Doge through a partnership with BitPay, a crypto payment service provider. Moreover, in an interview in May 2021, Cuban stated that he and his 12-year-old son owned about 3K Doge. He also stated that he receives Doge inflows through the sale of crypto-based tickets and products. Meanwhile, Mark Cuban has also revealed that since starting to accept Dogecoin as payment for merchandise in March, the Dallas Mavericks organization has seen substantial sales made with it. And in an effort to continue this push, Cuban announced last year that the organization will offer special pricing for those paying with Dogecoin during the Mavericks summer sale. So the point is that though Dogecoin was created as a joke and its creators never intended for it to be taken seriously, Cuban says it has a unique use case over other cryptos. He believes that it is a medium that can be used for the acquisition of goods and services. And the community for Doge is the strongest when it comes to using it as a medium of exchange. Moreover, in April 2021, Cuban tweeted that Dogecoin is the one coin that people actually use for transactions, though he has previously said that Ether is used as digital currency too. Now I know that Cuban's remark may irritate Shiba Inu supporters, considering the initiative is in direct rivalry with Dogecoin. But it's quite positive news for Dogecoin in the long term since Mark Cuban is a significant name in the financial markets, and this enthusiasm will surely encourage other investors to invest in Dogecoin, which will eventually increase its price and demand. Now another massive and pretty bullish update for Dogecoin is that whales are getting more and more bullish on it. Well, we can clearly see that whales have gone insane as they have accumulated $3.9 million in Doge in a single transaction. A blockchain data service ClankApp reports that a single transaction moved about 34 million Dogecoin, worth around $3.9 million. The network also executed 118 transactions worth at least $2 million in the 24 hours. Doge trade volume jumped from $382 million per 24 hours to well over $850 million in a matter of hours, coinciding with an increase in on-chain activity. Moreover, we are now seeing that Dogecoin whales have become more active over the last 24 hours as the number of large transactions rose by about 81%. We can see here that the whales' concentration of Dogecoin has increased during the last 24 hours. So this means that these large concentrations from among institutional players are actually due to the massive accumulation of Dogecoin. All in all, we are currently seeing that Doge whales have recently started to accumulate more and more coins. And that is a considerable rise in light of Dogecoin's current consolidation in the market. And judging on this buying behavior, I think that Dogecoin whales are highly bullish on it in the long term. And now let's come to Dogecoin's current price movements. So we can see here that after many days, Doge has been trading back in the green. Although this is not a massive surge and it is still moving sideways, it is good to see that Doge is holding well around this support level. Moving on, now let's talk about the price of Bitcoin for a minute. So while the market is anticipating the Fed's decision on rate hikes, and given the assumption that the Fed would hike interest rates by 25 basis points, Bitcoin traded marginally higher. Bitcoin has risen beyond 40K after falling as low as 37K over the weekend. However, despite the minor rise, Bitcoin and much of the larger crypto market are still trading in a turbulent range, with geopolitical, economic, and regulatory risks may be at their highest in many years. Meanwhile, crypto analyst Plan B is explaining the current state of Bitcoin. He is saying that Bitcoin is now 60% below the S2F model value. Some think S2F is dead. Others know we have 2 more years to reach the 100K average. So what it means is that Plan B is still predicting that Bitcoin is going to hit the 100K in 2 years. While we know that his prediction failed last year, we also know that he has previously made some pretty accurate predictions. So we can expect his prediction to come true this time. Now another good thing happening for Bitcoin is that its whales are now heavily accumulating it while medium addresses have fallen. So following the steep sell-off that began in December 2018, the overall number of non-zero Bitcoin addresses has been climbing since March 2018. This sell-off picked up speed in March 2019 at the start of the current bull market. When Bitcoin achieved a local high in April 2021, the number of new addresses fell somewhat. Following the decline, it began to rise again, reaching a new all-time high of 9.6 million on March 15. So what it means is that despite the recent market slump, interest in Bitcoin has been higher. So this is bullish news for Bitcoin. And another bullish thing happening for Bitcoin is that a huge amount of coins have been taken out of exchanges. And according to a study by Glassnode, over $1.2 billion in Bitcoin was transferred out of Coinbase last week. So what it means is that Bitcoin traders are moving out their cryptos from exchanges to their own wallets. And this is usually considered a bullish move since it decreases the concentration of large addresses. Meanwhile, we are now seeing that more short-term Bitcoin supply is becoming long-term supply. According to data from Glassnode, uncertain macroeconomic conditions are likely to have prompted a rise in long-term investors' sell-offs last week, as well as shook some short-term holders out of their investments. Coins older than 6 months contributed for 5% of overall expenditure last week, a figure not seen since November last year. However, the good thing is that the number of short-term holders is now turning to long-term holders. So this is bullish news for Bitcoin. And now, let's come to Ethereum for a minute. So despite the market consolidation, it appears that the optimistic predictions for Ethereum are still valid. And according to crypto analyst Nicholas Merton, Ethereum may overtake Bitcoin as the most popular crypto this year. Merton is saying that the flippening, or the occurrence of Ethereum's market value topping Bitcoin's, is still a huge possibility in this market cycle. He believes that Ethereum is going to have a huge number of use cases, and this is going to drive its popularity. And now if we talk about market sentiment for Ethereum, we can see here that Ethereum is bouncing rapidly around the 2.5K level. In addition to the extremely tight SP 500 correlation, it has right now even more correlation with it than Bitcoin. Moreover, it is also seeing 8-month low fees right now. So what it means is that the overall sentiment for ETH is currently mixed. And now, let's come to some important crypto updates. So crypto exchange Binance has announced that it has secured a full license from Bahrain's central bank. And under the supervision of Bahrain regulators, Binance will be able to provide crypto trading, custodial services, and portfolio management to consumers. So I think it's quite positive news for crypto. This move is going to surge the overall crypto trading volume, and a lot of new investors are going to jump into the crypto bandwagon. And as per another update, President-elect Yoon Suk-yeol of South Korea has already promoted himself as a crypto and finance lover, and he plans to promote the crypto business in the country. So this is positive news since it appears that South Korea is now going to become a major crypto hub. And now coming back to Dogecoin, we have just seen that Mark Cuban is supporting it even when its price is trading on the downside. So this is bullish news for Doge as famous people like Cuban and Elon Musk are supporting it. And that's it for today's video. If you liked our content, please leave a comment in the comment section below.